Meet the dream couple, Melissa and Rolan Wooden's Fairytale wedding on the cover of Southern Bride. When Southern Bride announced its 2025 fall issue cover couple, readers swooned across the South and beyond. Featured in all their radiant joy were Melissa Carter and Rolan Wooden, smiling against a backdrop of magnolia trees, chandeliers, and soft golden light. Their wedding wasn't just a celebration of love. It was a storybook event where Southern tradition met modern elegance, a day that captured the essence of romance and community. From a hand-picked details of Melissa's gown to Roland's vows that brought the room to tears, this fairytale wedding set new standards for what it means to be celebrated in the South. The love that started it all. Melissa Carter and Rolan Wooden's story began not in a grand ballroom, but in the simplest of places, a local charity gala in Birmingham, Alabama. She was volunteering as an event planner. He was there representing his family's business. Melissa recalls, "I saw him from across the room, holding a glass of sweet tea like he was born to make it look elegant. We ended up talking for hours about everything from football to faith to our dreams. By the end of the night, I knew I had met someone rare. For Rolan, it was immediate, too. Melissa had this warmth. It wasn't just beauty, though she's breathtaking. It was the way she listened, the way she laughed. I left thinking, if I don't see her again, I'll regret it forever." That chance encounter grew into courtship, into countless walks under oak trees, into Sunday dinners with family, and finally, into a proposal that would set social media on fire. The proposal, a Southern gentleman's promise. Rolan chose the perfect setting, the family estate overlooking Lake Martin, with lanterns lining the dock and a jazz quartet playing softly. He dropped to one knee just as the sun dipped into the water. Melissa remembers the moment vividly. "I thought we were going to dinner. Then he started telling me all the reasons he loved me, the ones that matter, like my stubbornness, my faith, my love for family. I cried before he even asked. When he finally did, it felt like the easiest yes I've ever spoken." The ring, a vintage-inspired oval diamond framed in delicate rose gold, symbolized not just luxury, but timeless devotion. Planning the fairytale. Planning began almost immediately, with Melissa balancing her career as an interior designer with the task of designing her dream wedding. Luckily, her creative vision aligned with Roland's traditional Southern roots. Together, they crafted a celebration that honored both their families and their individuality. Theme, Eternal Magnolia, romantic, soft, and deeply Southern. Venue, the Carter family estate in Montgomery, transformed into a magical garden. Colors, ivory, blush sage, and hints of gold. Music, a mix of gospel choirs, jazz ensembles, and a DJ who knew how to keep guests dancing past midnight. Melissa took charge of the aesthetic details, while Rolan oversaw logistics, ensuring everything was smooth and welcoming. The gown that stole hearts. When Melissa appeared at the aisle, jaws dropped. Designed by Monique Louwillier exclusively for Southern Bride's feature, the gown was an ethereal blend of lace, silk, and hand-stitched magnolia blossoms. A cathedral-length veil trailed behind her, sparkling subtly with Swarovski crystals. Her mother said, "She looked like she stepped out of a dream." Every detail of that dress said Melissa, strong, graceful, radiant. Rolan, waiting at the altar in a custom ivory tuxedo by Tom Ford, whispered under his breath, "That's my forever." The ceremony, where tradition meets intimacy, held outdoors beneath a canopy of magnolia trees. The ceremony was officiated by Pastor Jonathan Miles, who had known both families for years. Highlights included music. A gospel choir sang Amazing Grace as Melissa walked down the aisle. Unity ritual. The couple poured soil from their childhood homes into one pot, planting a magnolia tree that now grows on estate grounds. Vows. Melissa's vows promised laughter in the hardest seasons, while Roland's voice cracked as he swore to protect, cherish, and always savor the last dance. Guests described the ceremony as sacred yet joyful, Southern yet timeless. The reception of dreams. If the ceremony was intimate, the reception was a spectacle. A transparent tent allowed the night sky to twinkle above guests as chandeliers and fairy lights created a heavenly glow. Decor, magnolia blooms, cascading white roses, and candlelit tables. Food, a 5-course feast blending Southern comfort with modern flair. Shrimp and grits, fried chicken sliders, pecan-crusted salmon, and bourbon-infused bread pudding. Cake, a 6-tier masterpiece by Sylvia Weinstock, adorned with sugar magnolias and edible pearls. Entertainment. The night began with a jazz ensemble, transitioned to a lively gospel choir, and ended with a DJ spinning Beyoncé, Garth Brooks, and Outkast. Their first dance, Etta James at last, had every guest reaching for tissues. Fashion moments, guests in glamour. It wasn't just Melissa's gown that drew attention. The wedding was a runway of Southern elegance. Bridesmaids in flowing sage green gowns with golden sashes. Groomsmen in sharp navy tuxedos, complete with magnolia boutonnieres. Melissa's grandmother in a stunning pastel lavender ensemble that drew applause as she walked in. Even Southern Bride's editor-in-chief noted, this wasn't just a wedding, it was a fashion event. Every detail felt intentional, sophisticated, and deeply personal. Family and community, the soul of the wedding. What set the wooden wedding apart was not just the beauty, but the sense of belonging. Families came together, not just as witnesses, but as participants in love. Children played tag under the lanterns, elders shared stories of their own love, and neighbors of all ages joined the dance floor. Roland's father toasted, "Tonight, we don't just gain a daughter. Tonight, we witness what happens when two souls, guided by faith, create a future bigger than themselves." The honeymoon and the future. After the confetti settled and the sparklers faded, Melissa and Roland departed in a vintage Rolls Royce, bound for their honeymoon in Amalfi Coast, Italy. There, between lemon groves and the Mediterranean Sea, they began the next chapter, not just as husband and wife, but as partners dreaming of building a family, a home, and a legacy rooted in love. The cover of Southern Bride. Landing on the cover of Southern Bride is a milestone, but for Melissa and Roland, it was more than glamour. It was about representing the kind of love they want others to believe in. Melissa told the magazine, "We wanted our wedding to reflect who we are, grounded, joyful, deeply Southern, but also open to the world. If even one couple is inspired by our story, then it's worth every detail." Conclusion, a legacy of love. The wooden wedding wasn't just a celebration of two people. It was a symbol of tradition, modernity, and hope. Southern Bride's readers saw in Melissa and Roland not only style and grace, but also authenticity. Their story reminds us all, the truest fairy tales are not about castles and crowns, but about two people choosing each other again and again, every day. And as a magnolia tree they planted grows taller each year, so too will the love that made them the South's newest icons. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.